Broadcasting to Stoke-on-Trent and the world. This is Six Towns Radio.
It is Bossons About. I want to say hello to my special guest this afternoon, CJ Demiri. Welcome back to the show.
Hi Terry, how are you?
I'm good, mate. Thanks for asking. We've got loads of things to talk about, so let's dive straight in. First of all, you're involved with the FM fundraising here at Six Towns Radio. You've got a quiz at the M Club in Stoke next Friday. Are you looking forward to coming up to Stoke-on-Trent?
There are a few places in the country I've never actually been to, and Stoke's one of them, so I'm actually really looking forward to coming up and having a look around the place for a start. But I'm also looking forward to the quiz, and I've got some wonderful questions. You're going to love the quiz I've set. Absolutely fantastic. Most of my quizzes end up one of two ways. People either love it and leave the place laughing and cheering, or I have to run out of the back before the lynch mob gets me. I'm not quite sure which way I've pitched it, but we'll find out on the day.
Yes, definitely. Well, there is a back entrance, so we'll definitely be able to sort that out. But I know we've got some great quizzes up here. We've had quite a lot of feedback, but for you coming to Stoke for the first time, we need to get some tweets out there to maybe give you some advice of places to visit.
I mean, that would be lovely. I mean, I've got a list of about 4 places all over Britain, from right in the south into the Midlands, right up into the north, that I've never been to before. Now, Stoke's one of these. So if people have got suggestions of where I should go, what's essential to see in Stoke, I'd love to hear from you, because it's an important place historically, it's an important place culturally, and I want to know what I need to go and see, what I need to learn, what I need to look at.
You've obviously got a bit of a gauge of what goes on in Stoke-on-Trent. Obviously the pottery's quite famous and some of the people who've come from Stoke-on-Trent. But what else do you know, CJ? What facts do you want to throw at me quickly?
Very little, to be honest. I want people to throw the facts to me. I want to learn. I think most people know that my British geography is actually pretty weak. It's one of my weakest subjects, if not the worst. And I need people to be able to tell me what I need to do. There's no point in me looking in books and reading what some expert said. I need to know from people on the ground who actually live there, who love the place, so I can get in and get a feel for it.
Yeah, you said your geography isn't your strongest subject. Do you think going to places helps you out?
Absolutely. I mean, it's generally the only way I learn. I mean, up in my gym at home, I've got a huge map of the British Isles, and even though I'm staring at it for hours on end, nothing seems to go in. It is really bizarre. It's my blind spot. World geography, I'm fine on. As long as it's not in Britain, I can do it. The only way I've got any knowledge of anything in the UK is if I've been to the place, and even then I usually forget.
Well, do you think British geography confuses you because there's so many shires and so many similar named places?
One of the things that really bugs me is all these questions that come up about these historical counties, stuff that's never even been used in my lifetime. And then, of course, all the modern-day counties, the boundaries and the borders are changing all the time. Counties come into existence and they disappear just as quickly. I mean, poor Rutland, whatever happened to Rutland? And you get little places that are so important and have a great history behind them that are completely forgotten now. And I worry that I'm missing out on a lot of domestic culture, history, and knowledge that's really important just because I haven't been to the places. So I try and visit as many places around the country as I can. But of course, there's a limit on what I can do.
Yes,
so I need people who actually live in these places to tell me what's important and what I need to go and see.
We're going to get onto that today. We're going to get people to tweet you and tell you where to visit in Stoke and other places maybe. That'd be quite nice. Of course, you're famous for being on the Eggheads show for 9 years. You took a little bit of a break from it a couple of years ago. And that's seen you go onto your other love, going onto stage and being in Geek the Musical. Was that such a different thing for you to do? Well, acting has always been my love. Yeah. It's been the only thing I ever wanted to do, apart from when I was 5 and I wanted to be a paleontologist, because I was, like any young lad, I was mad about dinosaurs. Yeah. But acting, and especially theatre acting, being live on stage, has always been my main passion. And Eggheads was an incredibly fortunate and wonderful vehicle for me. And I decided, look, I've gone as far as I can for the time being, I think, with the show, and it's time for me to make a decision. So I very reluctantly decided to leave the show just to pursue my acting career. And it has been, I'll be perfectly honest, very, very difficult. It's been very hard, but that's the same for any actor. Nobody goes into acting to make money. And after a year, I actually got a couple of lucky breaks.
and got a play and a musical, Pirates of Penzance, and a play called Death Trap. And because of that, I started to get a bit more work, and then I got a part and was actually producer of Geek the Musical, which was a brand new musical which ran in the West End in April and May. And things have actually snowballed a bit from there. I'm doing my movie, The Renata Road, beginning next year, and then I'm back in the West End with a couple of other plays in the spring. So hopefully things are moving along. But because of that, and because I've managed to establish myself now as an actor and get a few decent credits and pursue my one love, I've now decided to go back to Eggheads.
Yes, that's what I've seen recently. Plus, you'll be able to do these things, that'll be able to run parallel to being on Eggheads as well, won't it?
Absolutely. I mean, the problem was before, because Eggheads was so all-consuming, I mean, it was only 2 months a year filming for an entire year's worth of shows. But of course, to back that up, you've got all the studying, all the preparation. I wasn't able to do the acting as well. It was essentially one or the other, so I had to make the choice. And no disrespect to the world of quizzing, but acting has always been where my heart truly lies. So I went out and I made the decision and thought, well, I may only have a 1% chance of success, but if I don't try, I've got a no % chance of success, and I'll regret it for the rest of my life. So I'd made the decision, I went out, and hopefully so far been reasonably successful. So it's time to take stock of that. I've now got my two careers, the acting and the quizzing, and hopefully we can work side by side now.
I know that in Geek the Musical you got to work with friend of this show and 6 Sounds Radio, Ewan McIntosh. What a delight Absolutely. That guy is.
Oh, he is lovely, isn't he?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know him. I mean, I chatted to him through Twitter, but when Geek came up and there was this role in it that I thought would be perfect for him, I just, through Twitter, just asked him on a whim. I never expected him to accept, but he was delighted to do so. And it was the most wonderful experience. You work with somebody that professional, that experienced, and I was lucky enough to share a dressing room with him, and I learned so much. Now, in Geek the Musical, I'm wearing a dress throughout the whole thing. I played a teacher called Ms. Axel, and Ewan was there in a very staid, normal suit, except at the end where he comes on in drag. And that was wonderful to see. Ewan in high heels, a dress and a blonde wig was absolutely fantastic. But you work with somebody with that much experience, you can't help but grow to love them and learn so much. And I think, as with any actor, if you work with people who are experienced, people who know what they're doing, it can only rub off on you. And I think, for me, that was a great experience to grow professionally.
Ewan came to our awards night. He was somebody I spoke to on Twitter quite a lot, and I asked him if he was free on that date, if he'd come along. And he said, what have we got to do? And I said, well, we'd like you to present Best Restaurant. And he came up and he did such a brilliant speech. It included Stoke-on-Trent. Again, he was the same as you. He'd never been to Stoke-on-Trent. He wanted to come and have a quick look around. We didn't really have a lot of chance to do that, but he really got into it, and I suppose he does into everything that he does.
He threw himself into the role, and it was nothing he'd ever done before. He has to sing, he even had to do a bit of dancing. He was just wonderful. And to be that close to somebody who has so much dedication, so much commitment, and I hate to say it, so much talent. You're working beside those people and you feel utterly insignificant. I mean, they're singing, dancing, acting you off the stage, and you just have to try and keep up with them somehow. It was absolutely fantastic and a wonderful experience.
Yeah, and you mentioned Renata Road, that's your next big thing.
Yes.
That has got a Kickstarter campaign to raise money to get that off the ground. You are the star of the actual film, aren't you?
I am. I take the lead role. What it is, back in beginning of 2011, I met up with my friend and director Ed Greenberg, who runs a company called Beyond the Bar. And we made a short film, The Renata Road, just for submissions to a few festivals. It was only 9 minutes long. The expectation of that wasn't particularly high, just getting together, making a short little movie. But the reception and the acclaim it got were out of this world. We had a London premiere in Leicester Square for a 9-minute film.
Yeah.
The Times gave it a glowing review. We had a submission for it from the Royal Television Society. Everybody seemed to love it. So what we decided was, well, let's take the plunge and go one stage further and make a full-length feature film out of this. It's going to be a psychological thriller, very claustrophobic, very strange, and I think pretty much unique in British cinema. Nothing like this is ever going to have been seen before. It very much takes its influences from film noir and film vague in 1950s and 60s Europe. But it's going to be an incredible piece of cinema, and I'm actually very nervous about it because here I am taking the lead role in this. And again, as I was working with Ewan, the self-doubt started to creep in. But because it's such an important piece for me, and not wanting to sound too opinionated with British cinema as well, because it is going to be unique, this, we decided, come on, let's pull ourselves together and get it done. So, as you say, we've started up a Kickstarter campaign to raise some money for it. Myself and Ed have already put in quite a bit, but we've started a Kickstarter campaign to try and raise £10,000, which people will say, well, how can you make a movie for that? Well, we've had a lot of very kind support so far, so if we can get £10,000, we can get a lot of people involved. We want as many people to join in as possible, just to spread the word, and for them to be as enthusiastic about it as we are. And here we are, we're not even quite halfway through the Kickstarter campaign, which is 35 days, and we've already raised more than half the money. So people seem to be very excited about it.
Yeah, it's renataroad.com if you want to go onto the website and maybe donate. There's a donate button there. The closing date's the 5th of October, isn't it?
Yeah, at midnight at the start of the 5th of October, so the end of the 4th of October, that's the closing date. Now, the way Kickstarter works is you can pledge any amount you want. Even £1 will be very greatly appreciated. If we don't make the target, you're not charged a penny.
Yeah.
If we don't make the full £10,000 target, we don't get anything. So if we make the target on the 5th of October, your card will be charged, and the amount you've pledged will go through. Now, as I say, £1 will be very gratefully received. From £10 upwards, we've got a whole list of rewards and incentives. So for just £10, you pledge that, and you get your name in the credit of the film on the big screen. And the rewards go up and up. You get copies of the digital film, invitations to the wrap party, VIP tickets to the premiere, and even at the very top tier, we'll even write you a role in the film. So there are a whole list of rewards, about 20 different tiers of rewards that you can look at, just for a small pledge. So if people want to be involved, it's www.renataroad.com or on Twitter @Renata Road. And there are a whole list of ways you can get involved. We just want people to get so excited about this and enthused about the incredible journey we're about to take.
Yeah, I do like these Kickstarter campaigns. It shows that people who have got faith in you are willing to put the money where the mouths are and actually support these things.
You never know how these things are going to work out. I mean, all right, it's a little easier for me because I have something of a public profile and a reasonable amount of followers on Twitter. But to get the word out, you need people to be excited about it, but also to be confident in it. I mean, people aren't going to pledge money if they think, oh, well, there's no chance that they're going to make their target, why bother? Or there's no chance because the end result is going to be absolutely pointless and rubbish. If people actually have confidence, and they can go onto the website at beyondthebar.co.uk and look at some of the previous work that's been done, look at the standard of stuff that Ed has produced, and just see what we're working towards. Because if people trust what we can do, they believe what we can do, and we've got an incredible cast and crew behind us, I can't wait to get started. I've already got the script, and I'm learning that, even though I've got a couple of projects to do before the film. But I'm already learning the script of it because I literally can't wait. I'm standing here jumping up and down all the time because I'm so excited and nervous about getting to grips with this.
Yeah, I've noticed this about you, though. You are quite pumped about everything, and you like to challenge yourself and get excited. I think that's what keeps you ticking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I am not one of those people who wants to take things easy. I've been asked, would I like to go on a nice beach holiday, relax for a couple of weeks in the sunshine, beautiful location? I said, no thanks. I will be bored out of my mind. Or I can't lie on the beach. I can't sit still. Got one shot at life, and I want to make sure I can do as much as I can while I'm here. I want to be challenged. I want to do interesting things. I mean, for example, at the end of November, most people know that I spent my last 3 teenage years sleeping on the streets. I was homeless. I could run a marathon, as I do quite often, and just raise money for a homeless charity. Well, that's fine, but all it does is raise a bit of cash. So the last week of November, 23rd to the 30th of November, I'm going back into central London. I'm going to spend a week sleeping and living rough on the streets. I'll have a sign with me to tell people I'm doing, just to try and raise some awareness, just to try and tell people what's happening. And this is, I suppose, one of the points about me. I don't like to sit by and just help casually. If I can want to do something, if it's important to me, I will get stuck in there and just do it.
I know you will. And again, thanks for coming on board with the FM fundraising for 6 Towns Radio. It's a community effort, and we really appreciate everyone who's doing their bit. You come into Stoke next Friday at the M Club for your quiz night, and we're all looking forward to that. And it'd be nice to actually meet you in person. You've been on the show a few times, but we have yet to meet. This is going to be the chance. But good luck with everything. And again, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much, Terry.